Airsoft GI would like to thank our sponsors.
So, Bob, there's a very embarrassing part of TVB, the very first game, that Jason likes to remind us about. Why don't you go ahead and explain your thought process through Jason Stone Cold Steel's escape?
Okay,
TVB.
well, I mean, I'm sure as you know, but some of our viewers may not. The beginning of Tim vs. Bob 1 started with, a mini riot where we captured Jason Stone Cold Steel, brought him back to the rebel encampment, and kept him prisoner. And I gotta say, I gotta give it up to Jason Hills, because he makes a very good hostage. He's very chatty with the guards, and generally just tries to get them, off their game until he has an opportunity to escape. He tried to escape like 3 times. And one of the times he almost got out there, but one of the guards with the mace literally just like clocked him right in the chest and dropped him to the ground, which is where some of our best footage came from.
It wasn't a real mace, by the way.
Yeah, it was a Nerf mace.
But Jason played it off really well.
Yeah. I think at the time he was complaining about not having like cable or DVDs or something, and then just bolted for the door.
Those are usual things if you're in prison in America. So.
Well, they had hookups in that little building, but no DVD player. So, let me get that. Yeah, so Jason was a really good hostage. I like how he kept my guards on their toes. But yeah, later on in the evening, there was one period of time where it was just getting dark, and David was actually on the field with a couple other buddies. David's a Marine friend of ours, and I had one good guard there, and then I had one child guard, one younger guard, and the one good guard had just stepped outside because he'd heard some fire around there, and then the child guard literally just peeked his head out the back door, and Jason saw both of them, was like, "Now's my time," and just ran out the door. And his timing, I mean, you know this, his timing could not have been better. D-Day was just coming in with a unit of like 3 or 4 dudes, and Jason ran right past them, and I literally saw Jason running at the door as I'm getting orders from my guys, and I was like, "Go get him!" And I ran after him as everyone else looked at me. They were like, "What is he doing?" And I ran after him and ran straight into David. Yeah. My axe actually got caught on his M4, and I ran past him, and I was like, and I asked if he's okay, because I actually hit him in the face with the axe. So I guess it's a kill, but yeah, I literally just got
way, Jason got away.
Yeah, he was the timing was, it couldn't have been better.
Yeah, because Jason ran out the door. He had to run probably a good 30 feet or so around the corner, and that's where David and the other guys were.
No, David, well, yeah, it might have been about 30 feet.
He wasn't right at the building, so Jason had to run out for a little bit.
But he ran literally past David and then ran into another one of your elite guard, and the elite guard was like, "What is going on?" He's like, "I just escaped. I need to get back to blah, 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 blah." And the guy was like, "Oh, you're that guy." He's like, "Yeah. Let's go." So that was pretty crazy.
Me.
Yeah. I was really embarrassed about that, but I got you back later in the evening, as I'm sure you'll remember.
Yeah, I think I was with that same group of guys, David and I. We decided to push up through the hotel, and I don't know why I answered you, but I mean, remember, TVB1 was a night game.
No. It was a day game that turned into a night game.
Well, at this particular point in the game, it was pretty dark already.
Yes.
Can you please not break our set?
Stop it.
Anyway, we both met up somehow in the hotel, which is one of the buildings inside the field. And I was about to walk up some stairs when pop, 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 I get shot. I'm like, shit, I'm dead. And then you said, "Is that Tim?" And I was like, "Yes." And then immediately after I said that, I was like, I should have kept my mouth shut. And then you were like, "Come with me." And then you grabbed me. I went to prison. I was like, man, this is embarrassing.
I feel it. Yeah, I bet you felt kind of stupid.
I was like, if I just stayed quiet. I mean, because it's pretty dark. I mean, you probably knew what I was wearing, so you probably would have found me anyway.
Well, the thing is, I came around the corner with my gun, and I saw people going up the stairs. I fired twice or 3 times, and I had the flashlight on my gun, and I flashed it real quick, and I could have sworn I saw a Strider patch. And I was like, there's only one guy I know who wears that, and it's you. So when you
that's what I mean. Like, you would have found me anyway, but just the fact that I was like, yes.
Yeah. No, right when you said that, I was like, just ran forward and grabbed you, and I said, "You're coming with me." And dude, I was flipping my crap the whole way back, because I was like shoving you through like the hallways, and we got outside, and there's this one area where when we crossed, like there's BBs going by, and I was like, I do not want to get shot right here, because we're like we just have to get them right there. So as I ran you across, I could hear BBs going by, and I was yelling for cover, but I was like, please just get him to the HQ.
Yeah. So you eventually got me into prison, which is cool. I was there, and I was doing the same thing. Jason was like, "Hey, man, that's a real nice pistol.
Yeah.
Can I see that real quick?" And as your guard was about to hand me his gun, our mutual friend Vince was like, I know what you're doing. Like, he had his gun up ready to shoot me.
Well, that's the funny thing is, like, Vince is also a Marine, and so we had Marines on both sides as our personal security detachment, and And, Vince also knows you, so he knows how tricky you can be. But, yeah, he was watching you like a hawk. The second that kid took his gun out of his holster, he was just, don't even do it to him.
I think that was was that the first game? Or I think the rule was that I had to be in prison for like
5 minutes,
5 minutes or something like that. So after the 5 minutes elapsed, I went back on my side.
Correct.
You got a point for that.
Yes.
But then you sneakily formed an alliance with the GI guys that were on my team.
Now, at all the Tim versus Bobs, I try and screw with Tim in some fashion or another. And this time...
I play a straight game. Let's
no,
get
well,
that
no,
clear,
no.
that
Let's,
I follow the rules.
let's not get that clear, because Tim versus Bob 2, you did not follow any rules.
I was following the safety guidelines given to me by Jethro Del Castillo.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the spy you put on my team.
He asked me.
Well,
I didn't put him there. He was like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna be on Bob's team, but I'm gonna work for you. Is that cool?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's super cool."
You worked with him, so it's all good now. Everything's on the floor. Everything's on the board.
That'll be a story for another day.
That was actually that felt just like a movie. I got to tell you, God, I really want to talk about it, but we'll do it another time. Yeah, so I am a huge fan of Star Wars. So actually, weeks prior to Tim vs. Bob 1, I contacted a couple of people that I knew were going to be on Tim's team and informed them that at some point during the operation, I wanted them to betray Tim, shoot his personal security attachment, and bring him to my HQ so I can get another point and just really embarrass the crap out of you. So because I'm a Star Wars fan, I codenamed this Order 66. So later...
I would not know anything about that.
Exactly. Order 66 is an order that I believe the Emperor, or the Emperor Palpatine, issues to stormtroopers to turn on the Jedi, thereby killing all of them or most of them. Kind of ironic twist of fate. But yeah, so what I did is later in the game when it got what I thought was close to the end, I basically was running around just yelling, "Execute Order 66!" And about 4 of my guys turned, 4 or 5.
I don't know who it was. It was probably 4.
Yeah. But they came in...
It was James Klein, Daniel... I don't know who else was there. I remember those 2 specifically. But it was definitely 4 guys.
Yeah, okay. I definitely talked to as many GI people as I knew that were going to be on your team as I could. But they came over to you, and why don't you explain the situation?
To be honest with you, I didn't really realize what was going on. Because they were all like surrounding me. David and our other mutual friends were there. They shot them, and David was really pissed, by the way. He was so mad. He was like, "I cannot believe this happened." And then they started escorting me to the other side, and I was like, "Hey, guys, what's going on here?" He's like, "You're coming with us." And then I realized, like, oh, my God, it's a double cross, right? It's like, "Come on, Tim, you're coming with us." And I was like, all right, you know what? Let's go this way. And so I tried to, like, steer them around, like, "We should really go this way, guys," like, pretend like I was still in charge. And they're like, no, you're coming with us. And I was like, you know what? You're coming with me. And I grabbed the 2 guys next to me, and I turned them, and I just started dragging them, because they were caught by surprise. I grabbed them by their chest rigs, and I started pulling them towards the other way. I'm like, oh, my God, shoot him. And then, like, somebody was hitting me with a foam. But it was a foam axe. I wasn't going to do anything. I was still dragging 2 of these guys. I had 1 guy on my drag handle, 2 guys in my hands that I pulled them off their feet. And we just started, like, you know those like, strongest man competitions where they're pulling the trucks. I was literally like trying to like pull these guys back as they were trying to pull me the other way. And they were like shooting me and hitting me with these foam axes, and like before I could do really anything, Jet called game because I was like right at the end of the game.
Yeah, I basically realized it was getting to the end, and I called it with like probably 5 minutes left. So they had enough time to find you, shoot David, which I remember him being pissed afterward. And I was like, I told him, I was like, sorry, bro, it's part of the game, man.
Yeah, but I was pretty proud of myself because they were like, I don't know, I think I saw that in the movies, like, I'm not stuck in here with you. You guys. Oh, that's a Watchmen, right? Where Rorschach gets caught in prison. He's like, you guys aren't stuck in here with me. Or I'm not
stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Yeah, and so I pulled that same line. I tried to pull them back to my side, but the game ended up getting called anyway. But
yeah.
No, that was a fun way to end the game.
That was really fun, and I'm glad my spies were able to reveal themselves because it felt pretty epic, and I'm glad we almost got you back there. And what was interesting about it is that, you know, for most of the game, you actually were winning, and then my personal capture of you actually tied the game.
Yeah.
And had we gotten you back to the HQ, that would have won it for the or the Rebel forces. So
yeah, definitely.
I like how each of our Tim versus Bob games, it really either comes down to individual soldiers or individual action that turns the tide of the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
for Jet's retarded organization of 2 because I clearly won that one.
Whatever. No, I mean, well, you also clearly violated some rules, but no big deal.
Following the rules.
No, Bob,
I was
get away from the
following
vehicle,
rules.
Bob. It's a safety violation. You can't come in here and capture me. It's a safety violation.
It was a serious problem. You were pinned between the building and
It was
the
not even
armadillo.
pinned. You were there scared
had-
poopless of me coming in there and grabbing
the armadillo
you.
was running.
I'll
and
bet
plus,
you were-
would have grabbed me and vomited all over my back. And I was
Possibly
not gonna
true.
have
Possibly
that.
true. I'll bet you were looking at the door to the armadillo being like, not again. Not again.
Not again,
Don't
what?
come in. Yeah, it's me, Tim.
No, because I was standing out of it. And I was like, Bob, you got to move away. They got to take me back to base.
I was literally right at the door. I was like, are you kidding? And then it started moving. I was like, this is baloney.
Jet distinctly told me that if
No,
I
he
get shot
did-
in the armadillo, it has to go back to
No,
base. And
no,
I
that's
could ride inside.
no, that is not correct.
He told me I could ride inside.
That he said you could ride inside, but he didn't say if you were shot you had to immediately leave. The,
Yeah,
the
he
rule is you had to. We're going over this too
No,
much.
I was staying put in the armadillo. The armadillo was moving. I have control over
Dead
that.
men don't talk.
I wasn't talking. I was
You
trying to
wait.
move you out of the way
No.
so you don't
on
get
the
run
on the
over.
video. Hey, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. I remember that. You literally like, hey, hurry up, and then he couldn't go any faster because the steering was it column steering column.
Dude, that steering wheels are supposed to turn this way, right? That thing was like all over the place.
Man.
It was ridiculous. But we'll save that. We've kind of told everybody. We'll save that for another day.
All right.